Hi there. So I'm making this video for you so that you can see how to use Delta Math if you so desire in your classroom. So I am going to screen share. Sorry, I have a cough. I am fine. I have allergies, so sorry if I'm coughing a bit. This is Delta Math. I have a lot of tabs open. Feel free to ignore those. Yeah. You have to make an account. I have one, so I'm not going to be able to walk you through that part, but from what I remember from the beginning of the year, it was pretty easy. The way your students join is they need to make an account, and then they need to get your class code. In order to find your class code, you go to Tools, Login School Information, and it gives you a teacher code. So my code is 313859. You also will need to set up classes, and that's from Tools, Manage Student Classes. I have, my classes right now. And what happens when your students sign up is they type in your teacher code, and then they get offered what class are you in. So my students, when I signed in, were like, okay, are you in Algebra 2, Section 2, Section 3, Hamilton, Williams? And then they select it, and then anytime you make an assignment, it will be there in their dashboard for them. I can try and get a student to log in for me or give me their password so that I could make another video showing that screen. Not as familiar with that, to be honest. Once you have it though, you generally will log in and see this is your dashboard. I'm just scrolling for a second, not for you to actually read everything, but for you to see how many different skills they have. And I know that the man who makes this, he used to be an New York City DOE teacher. He just retired in January. He was an MFA. He's trying to build this up and has been for a while. It just happens now that everyone wants to use it. So I'm going to create a standard assignment right now so I can show you how it works and also how you can get student data from it. You have to give it a name. So I am about to be doing domain and range with my Algebra 2 students, just a quick review so that I can get into function transformations. And when I make these assignments, I generally like to give them a date so that there's a little bit of frame of reference for the students to see when something was posted, etc. You have to select a class, and what you do, so I'm just going to select my test class for right now. This is where I test some stuff out. You then choose skills. So you could sit here and you could click each individual thing and look for them, or you can search. You search right here. So I'm going to type in domain and range, or just domain, let's start with. And these are all of the skills that the man who makes this, I don't even know his name, has come up with as domain and range. What's really cool is, yes, you could just add them, but you can also click to see what your students would see. So this is what an actual student would see. It generates these questions randomly. I'm sure there's a limit to how many there actually are, but in fact, I know there is, because sometimes students get the same one. But it's randomized. It's really awesome. So this is just one domain and range question. Determine the domain of the following graph. And then this is a very unique one because it wants it to be written in a very specific way. But like I could write -11 less than or equal to x is less than or equal to -3. Let's just do it wrong for now. Submit answer. Do I want to submit it? Yes. I was wrong, which I knew. I typed it in wrong. And it tells you, and this is again what a student would see. It says, okay, the domain is the x-axis. The minimum is -11. The maximum is -3. It's a closed circle, so those are brackets. You can also write it like this. You can continue to do new problems. You can see what the solution will look like for the students. I, as a teacher, can't access this question mark, but your students can. If they click this question mark, they are able to see a similar problem and how it's actually solved. So let's say I really liked that activity, I could do plus. And if you notice now, this changed to red, and if I clicked it, it would be removing it, but I want to keep it, so I come over here, and this is saying required. What's really cool about Delta Math is that if you ask them to do 5 questions, they can keep going. So they succeed in their 5 questions. If they want more practice, there's no stopping. It's not going to kick them off. So I say I want 5 questions. The penalty, I'm not going to lie, is like always a little unclear to me. It seems like what it is that if they get 1 wrong, that's fine. But if not, I'm not really sure. Depends on your purpose. If you're just trying to get them to review, I often do no penalty. There's other things that are really cool. So for instance, I'm just going to show you, I did systems recently with my 8th graders, and I did it graphically linear. Ooh, so much. Systems, linear inequality. Those are word problems. Linear. Whoa. Solves linear system graphically. So again, I'm just previewing this right now. It gives them directions, solve the following system. What's cool is, like, again, this is something that would probably be difficult for our students to do at home without graph paper, but they can go up 6 and then, you know, making their graph, they can go down to -3, down to over 1, and then here's my point. So -3, 3 is my solution, submit. Oh yeah, I got it right. And again, if I didn't, I could have pressed that question mark. So this is my assignment. In order to post it, you always need to give it a due date. You could choose, like I could choose June if I really wanted to. The key thing is that if an assignment is past due, the students see 2 sections. They see at top is all their current assignments, and at the bottom is all their late assignments or past due. So that's just something to keep in mind. So that's how to make an assignment. You can also save progress. If you're not ready to post it, you can schedule it to post later, etc. Once you have posted an assignment, again, it's going to make different problems for every student, which ideally would make it really hard to grade. But what's cool about Delta Math is they grade it for you. So if you go to student data, you can view assignments. These are all of my students. And these are all of the assignments I've given recently. They are not all of my assignments. I generally like to assign it or to sort it by class. That's just like a little bit easier for me, especially when it comes to grading. For my Algebra 2 classes in the past, I've generally just done this as like practice and reinforcement. Going forward, I'm going to be using this as part of like one of my days during the week of remote learning, and it will be required. So I'm just going to show, let's go to my section 2. And you can see these are my assignments, and I can see this is like an overview, the percentage of that each of the kids did of that assignment. I will just go into one of them. Let's go into let's go to polynomial graphs, and that's not a good example. Let's actually go to Hamilton, which is my 8th grade math class. I recently just gave them systems graphing. And so this is the assignment. If you can see, there are 3 skills that I assigned for this assignment. There's solving a linear system graphically, determine a number of solutions in the system, and level 2 of solving linear systems graphically. And I can scroll down and I can see how many the students did of that total activity. So Mifta did 9 out of 15 for 1, she did 0 out of 8, and she did 4 out of 4. Additionally, you can then click each assignment, and what's really cool is you can see checks and X's as to what the students did, how many times it took. You can see how long it took them. So Mifta took 6.4 minutes for the first one. She got it right. 5.1 minutes for the second one. She got it wrong. 2.1 minutes right, and so on. Now you can see like her time went down, and I know it should only have taken her that long. So like I would guess in the beginning she was a little distracted. Depending on how you're working your remote classroom, maybe you are live with them in an office hour and you can redirect them or so on. that's Delta Math. If you have any questions, just let me know. I am going to stop sharing now and say bye. And I hope this is helpful.